Hello and welcome to Tricks of the Astray channel. Today is the 8th of November 2017, and today's video is just a different video. It's not an actual transvestigation video. It's just a video that I just wanted to share some things with you guys based on the Vatican code of numbers and the colors of the Vatican. The people we're featuring on the show, on the video today, we've already transvestigated, which happens to be Aaliyah and Beyonce. Now, the reason for this video is because while studying Aaliyah and Beyonce, I noticed some things that are of significance, something I thought that maybe people who are trying to reason things out and understand what's going on in this world should maybe take notice of. So that's why we made this video. So if it's your first time on our channel and you want to continue watching this video from this point on forward, I advise that you pause the video right here and go look for the primer video. You have to watch the primer video so you can understand where I'm going and what I'm trying to say, because without you watching the primer video, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is not going to make any sense to you. You're going to be more confused watching the video than if you did not watch it at all. So with the primer video, it's going to help you so you can understand what the channel is all about and the reasonings behind a lot of stuff that I'm going to be sharing. So I'm going to point you to the primer video in a second. And here is the primer video. The primer video is going to be the oldest video on this channel. It has a playlist, all right? So you look for it. It's called primer. When you click on this particular video, all right, or any video that we have on this channel, all right, there is a description section, all right? The description section has a link. The link is a link to a document. It's called Male versus Female Visual Differences. It's very, very important that you get this document and you study it, all right? You study it and know the visual differences between male and females. But in a nutshell, I'm going to explain that in this video so you actually know differences between male and female. So the document is about 44 pages, but I guarantee that it will take you 30 minutes or less to go through it. It just has a lot of pictures and it will show you the visual differences between male and female. So with this document right here, there is a female to my left, and as you can see, she has an arch in the back. Now, why does a female have an arch in the back? Is because the pelvis of a female is tilted forward. Tilted forward. So the best way I can explain it is that the pelvis of a female is like a bucket, okay? When you tilt a bucket forward, something can stay inside that bucket without dropping out. But if the bucket is like standing up straight, because remember, the pelvis is like a bucket that has holes on top and a hole on the bottom, all right? So if it stands straight, all right, something is going to drop out of it. No baby can stay inside that pelvic area with that kind of pelvis. So female's pelvis is tilted forward so the baby can stay inside the pelvic region without falling out. So that's one of the reasons why a female has an arch in the back. Also, the female spine is much more flexible for the weight of carrying children, so that the female doesn't have problems walking or problems carrying the baby when she's pregnant, okay? Then, as usual, the arch is always going to be a C-shaped arch, which is extra support also for the weight of carrying babies. So depending on where you draw the line in a woman's back, it's going to form into an S-shaped spine or a C-shaped arch in the back. So I want you guys to remember those letters. For males, males don't have any arch in their backs. A male's back is going to be straight up and down, or it's going to be shaped like a P or a D. So I want you guys to remember those letters, P or a D. I'm going to scroll further into the document just to show you that a female's back is always going to arch more than that of a man. And here is a female's back. As you can see, she has this deep C arch in the back. So if a female kneels down like this lady right here, you're going to see that deep C arch in her back, all right? A woman's back will always arch much more than a man. And it doesn't matter what size the woman is. If she's big, tall, or small, or tiny, there's always going to be an arch in the back, as I want to show you in this document. So there is a big female to my left, and you can see she has an arch in the back and the pelvis is tilted forward. A small female to my right, arch in the back, C-shaped arch, and her pelvis is tilted forward. Because without the pelvis tilt, a woman can get pregnant. So it doesn't matter if the female's got muscles. Nothing can change the skeletal structure of a woman. Here's a woman right here. She has a lot of muscles, and you can see she still has an arch, a C-shaped arch in the back. Another muscular female, same C-shaped arch in the back. So let's move forward just to show you where the hip location is, because these two things distinguish the male from the female. So let's move forward. So I'm going to play this video, and this video is going to show you the location of where the female hip is at, because these are the two most important things in distinguishing males from females. And I want you guys to understand that it's the skeletal structure that determines the sex, and not the genitals that determines the sex. So in what I'm trying to explain is that if you're going to build, let's say, a skyscraper, all right, and you have the foundation and the structure of a skyscraper, you can't take the foundations of a skyscraper and try to build like maybe an apartment building complex that just has maybe 2 stories. It won't fit. So it's the skeletal structure that determines the sex of the person, and not the genitals, not the genitals, the sex. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So with this particular video, I'm going to play, you're going to see where the location of the female hip is at, which is always going to be below the crotch. The reason for the female hip being below the crotch is so that a woman can give birth, all right, without the hips being in the way. Okay, so the hips are below the crotch to make sure that the female can, when it's time for her to give birth, that she can spread her legs and a baby can come out of that pelvic region. And you guys also have to understand that with a female, with females all around the world and how they get into clothes, every tailor or somebody who sews clothes has to know the location of the female hips. Otherwise, all the clothes that are sewn around the world in so many different countries and shipped across would not be able to fit into a woman, because if females have let's say varying places in their body where their hips at, the clothes will all be a mess. So it's standard anywhere in the world, because this is known that females' hips are always going to be below the crotch. So I'm going to play the video right here so you guys can see what I'm saying. So as you can see, here is a female, and as you can see, she's spreading from under her elbows downwards, and the widest point is always going to be the hips, which are below the crotch. So if these hips were higher up here and this was the crotch, this female would not be able to spread her legs when she's about to deliver a baby for the baby to come out. This would be in the way, because the pelvis area is right here if it was higher up, as in a man's case. All right, a man's hips is higher up because his genitals need to be outside the body temperature to function optimally. For females, the hips need to be below the crotch, so this don't get in the way of this child coming out of the womb. So if you're a woman, you can do this and go take a look in the mirror. You see, you start spreading from under your elbows, and the widest points are always going to be your hips, which are below the crotch. So as you can see, the tape's going to go around to show you exactly where this is at, because this is how a female's clothes are measured and she gets fit. As you can see, the tape goes around the widest point, right, in that body, in that pelvic area, which is the hips, which is below the crotch. So the female is going to turn around so you can actually see it from the back. And as she turns around, you can see that that hip right there is slightly above the bum line but below the crotch. Slightly above the bum line but below the crotch. So sometimes if you get confused about trying to spot a gender, when you see a person from the back, male or female, you're going to tell exactly this is a woman or this is a man, because you're going to see that Q angle. The Q angle is the angle between the hip and the knee, and for females it's always very acute. As you can see, it's very sharp, acute, so you can see that this is actually a woman. All right, so that's what I want to share with you guys, and that's how you get to spot the differences between male and female. So based on the arch in the back and the location of where the hips is at. So another defining features of females is that a female always has to have her pelvis is tilted forward, the hips are below the crotch, she has a wide pubic arch and an arch in her back. All right, so let's go on. Now here's the part I have to put up warning so you guys can understand that this is a different kind of channel, because this is an educational channel. We do not allow people to slander anybody at will. So you just can't come up to this channel and say someone is a transgender or someone is a man or a woman without providing facts based on the female skeletal structure. And what is the female skeletal structure? You have to ascend. When you say someone is a man or a woman, or you are trying to say label someone a transgender, you have to provide links of the pictures of the person based on the female skeletal structure, which includes that the person has or does not have an arch in the back, the hips are below the crotch, all right, there is a wide pubic arch, and the pelvis is tilted forward. So you have to include links of pictures based on that female criteria to either label someone a transgender or not. So if your comments do not include links of pictures as evidence based on the female skeletal structure that I've just mentioned, and you go ahead to say the person is a transgender, and you say things like, oh, she has a strong jawline, the chin is too strong, she looks too muscular, she looks mannish, she looks boyish, she has an Adonis belt, the torso is too long, her ring or index fingers are longer than the other, and all that nonsense that's been spread around by a lot of YouTube channels, and you bring it up on here and try to label someone a transgender, what happens is that we are going to block you. There is no slandering allowed. You have to provide links of pictures, evidence to show that the person that you're labeling is a transgender. And as usual, the Vatican hasn't changed. They're the one responsible for the organized transgendering of young kids, as this video that we are making right here is going to show. And also, as usual, we are not against transgenders. We are merely exposing the lie, all right? The lies that are being told to us day in and night, so you guys can see clearly. So strap your seatbelts, and I'm going to start talking just to show you. I'll just tell you what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, so you guys can understand where we're going here. Now, this video that I'm making today is about Aaliyah and Beyonce. Now, the official story is that Aaliyah is dead and Beyonce is still alive as of today, which is the 8th of November 2017. Now, what started this particular reasoning of mine to show you guys what I just thought is because I was just looking into Aaliyah, because I'm always like, from time to time, I just spend time just trying to analyze what's going on based on what the Vatican is doing. So I was looking into Aaliyah, and I saw a video of Aaliyah with Beyonce. Now, in this particular video, this video I think happened, let me actually get the right date. The video was the MTV 2000 MTV Video Music Awards, which was held on Thursday, September 7, 2000, I think. And the video, Beyonce is interviewing Aaliyah. And this video was shot before a year before Aaliyah died. Now, while listening to the conversation, some things just started to strike. I just started to notice the tenses in this particular video, which I'm gonna show. I'm gonna play for you guys to listen to and hear what I heard, and for you guys to see that there was some sort of talk going on here, and based on the type of clothes that we're wearing, it was indicative of something in which the Vatican knows very well. And so that's what I want to show you. So where am I going with all this? I have a theory here. The theory is that Aaliyah did not die. Somebody's gonna say that sounds crazy. We knew Aaliyah died. Now just bear with me for a second and you understand why I'm saying this. So I'm thinking, because like I've said before, we've investigated both Aaliyah and Beyonce, and these are two males. So what I think happened was this, that Aaliyah was written out of the script, all right? Because as a transgender, he was not convincing enough to be female. So that was like, okay, I don't think she's going to be convincing enough for whatever reason or purpose that the Vatican deems fit or necessary that she should serve, all right? So they said, okay, we have to write Aaliyah out of the script because we found somebody who's much more convincing as a female, even though he's a man, in Beyonce. Now, I'm going to show you the clip of what I'm trying to say so you guys can maybe understand what I'm saying. And here is the clip, all right? Now, Aaliyah is on the red carpet with Beyonce, and Aaliyah is wearing a black dress. So I want you guys to remember that first. She's wearing a black dress, and Beyonce is wearing a gold dress, and they're on a red carpet. Now, before I get deep into this conversation, I want you guys to, I'm going to show you to the color code or the color symbology of the Vatican, what it means, what these color codes mean, because all these things are not a coincidence. If you still believe in coincidences, then you're one of the biggest fools there is in the world. So it's not a coincidence that Aaliyah is wearing a black dress and that Beyonce is wearing a gold dress. Now, besides that, they're on a red carpet. Now, besides what I'm showing you now, all right, the conversation that you're going to hear between these two is going to be indicative of something that's going to happen to Aaliyah. I'm going to break it down step by step. When she talks, I'm going to pause the video and explain so that you guys can understand what I'm saying. Like I said before, I don't think Aaliyah died, and here's the reason why I don't think she died. Now, here is the plane, the supposed plane that they said that Aaliyah crashed in. People, I want to let you know that plane crashes don't happen this way. This plane just looks like it was dropped here. Because you have to know that when planes crash, they're coming with a lot of velocity. So it's going to be tumbling down and rolling. If you've been to a plane crash site before, you know that the pieces of the plane are going to be scattered and littered everywhere. Now, this just looks like a plane that was just flown in and dropped to make it look like a crash site. I want you guys to take notice of this because all the pieces of the plane seem to be in one place. It's never happened before in a plane crash. All right. Here is the plane again. They all seem to be in one place. Usually in plane crashes, the pieces are littered everywhere. You have to go looking for maybe a seat, a wing someplace. It's never in one place like this. You still have the tail of the plane intact. It doesn't look like the plane rolled over or came through with so much impact that it scattered everywhere. This just looked like someone just dropped the plane on here. So that's what I want to show you first before I go back to explaining this particular video to make you understand that I do not think that Aaliyah died. And there are so many scripts of this sort that are written to entertain or maybe move the public in one way or the other, which the Vatican does from time to time. And there are so many people in the business who do know this, that Aaliyah did not die. One of the first people I would think to ask who knows about this would be Sean Puffy Combs. The next person would be Damon Dash, and the next person would be Jay-Z. I think they all know about this because, like I said, once you see everybody on TV, they're working for the Vatican. These are all Freemasons paid to keep quiet. They make their success from being quiet and keeping secrets like this to fool the public for whatsoever reason the Vatican deems fit unnecessary. So before I start explaining what I'm going to be saying, I'm playing this video and breaking it step by step. I want you to remember that Aaliyah is wearing a black dress and Beyonce is wearing a gold colored dress on a red carpet. We're going to break down the color symbology first before we get into this video. So let's move on and break the color symbology of this particular dresses that these two transgenders are wearing here in the Vatican Code of Colors, and then we can go on. So we start with black. Now remember that Aaliyah is wearing a black dress over here, as you can see right here, black dress. So what does the color code mean for a black dress? If you're interested in this particular color code or symbology of the Vatican, you can pause the video at any point in time and copy out this link right here and go read up on yourself, and you will see this color code. Now it says black is used in masses for the dead. I want you to take notice of that. Black is used for masses, in masses for the dead, as a sign of mourning, right? Okay, that's what I want you guys to take notice of. Now going back to this dress that Aaliyah is wearing, she's wearing a black dress. So if you're reading the color symbology of what it means that she was going to die, all right, and it's a sign of mourning. She's dead. Okay, now what color is Beyonce now wearing right here? She's wearing a gold colored dress. Okay, let's find out what the gold color means in the Vatican Code of Colors. It says white or gold, worn during Christmas and Easter, symbolizing the birth and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the fake God. All right, these colors are also worn during funerals because they symbolize life rather than mourning. I want to read it out again so you guys hear clearly. It says white or gold. So what is Beyonce wearing here? White or gold? It's gold. It has some white in it. You guys can go look up the video. Just type it out on your search engine, Aaliyah and Beyonce empty of words. You're going to come up and you're going to see it for yourself. But you can see right here that she's wearing a gold colored dress. And the symbology here means worn during Christmas and Easter, symbolizing the birth and resurrection of Jesus Christ. These colors are also worn during funerals because they symbolize life rather than mourning. So based on the theory that I just presented to you, that Aaliyah was written out of the script so that Beyonce could be the star. All right. So that's why she's wearing black, a symbol of death and mourning, and Beyonce is wearing gold, a symbol of resurrection and life, because Beyonce started getting popular after Aaliyah passed on. So the torch was passed from Aaliyah to Beyonce. Now remember, they are on the red carpet. All right. Let's take a look at that picture again. I'll play the video so you guys don't worry. Both of them are on a red carpet. And what does red mean? Red here means the color of blood and therefore of martyrdom. All right. So that means that Aaliyah was a martyr. All right. A martyr for Beyonce to be successful. She was written out of the script. Don't worry if I'm calling her a she. When you watch the video, we have a couple of videos on Aaliyah. You'll find that this is a dude. But I'm just calling her a she because this is just what it is for here, right, for this particular video. She was written out of the script, all right, dead, and the torch was passed, and Beyonce is wearing the color of gold and life. Now, what we're going to pay particular attention to is, I'm going to play this video. You can listen to what Beyonce is going to be asking Aaliyah. I want you guys to pay attention because this is how the Vatican, who owns all the media, runs game over your heads without you guys knowing what she's gonna say. All right. Before I play the video, I want you to remember the color red. It means the color of blood and therefore of martyrdom. All right. Now, what's gonna happen is that Beyonce is gonna ask Aaliyah, "What are you wearing?" And you guys are gonna probably think, oh, the reason why, because this is symbology. This is code of talking, because this whole video here was scripted. It was scripted because they had known ahead of time that Aaliyah wasn't convincing enough as a woman, being that she's a man. So we need to pass the torch on to Beyonce, who looks more convincing, a female, than Aaliyah. And so all this is played out in front of a screen because this is all some sort of, Luciferian ideology which the Vatican is deeply involved with, and which everybody around in the music industry or entertainment industry and the elite in general are involved in. So they have to make it look like it's some sort of symbolic sacrifice, all right? So in this particular video, Beyonce is going to ask Aaliyah, "What are you wearing?" All right? So this whole video script is going to show you that this was planned ahead of time. Because why would Beyonce be asking Aaliyah, "What are you wearing?" Now, as the conversation goes on, all right, you're going to hear, Beyonce ask Aaliyah that she's been transitioning into movies now, showing you that the movie that she's going to be acting out is her death. And Aaliyah is going to talk about the transition and everything else, that she's transitioning to movies. And then Beyonce is going to ask the question that who is Aaliyah looking forward to seeing perform on this particular movie awards? And she's going to say D'Angelo. What does that mean? It's all symbolic ways of telling you that Aaliyah is going to die and she's going to be transformed into an angel of death passed on. I'm going to play the video for you guys to listen. Then at every point in time, I'm going to pause it and explain what's going on. So let's do that. So we're going to break down this conversation that happened in 2000 between Beyonce and Aaliyah. Aaliyah wearing a black colored dress, like as I've showed you, symbolizing that she's going to die. She's going to be a martyr on a red carpet. And Beyonce wearing a gold colored dress, a symbol of life. We're going to break down this conversation step by step so you can understand and hear what the words. Now, Beyonce is going to start by asking Aaliyah what she's wearing. So I want you guys to listen to that. Because sometimes when you listen to things, you actually think that she's talking about, she's asking, because the conversation is going to sound like Aaliyah is going to answer, make it sound like she's talking about the shoes that she's wearing. But it's actually the dress, because the question was, "What are you wearing?" But Aaliyah is going to answer and say the shoes. Then Beyonce is gonna ask her about is she nervous about the movies that she's making, to show you that whatever Aaliyah was doing or whatever she was doing was a movie. It's not real. That means Aaliyah did not die. Okay. Then after that, Aaliyah is gonna answer and say that she's not she's looking forward to the transition. What transition is she talking about? Transitioning from life to death and moving on. So she's gonna say she's gonna be nervous. Okay, Beyonce's gonna ask her rather, are you nervous about it? And she's gonna say that she's been looking forward to the transition. All right. And then Beyonce's gonna ask her, what movie are you gonna act again? What movie? You have another movie lined up in the summer, which means the movie that she's gonna be scripting out and acting like her plane crash happened, just like I showed you that plane crash didn't look real. Plane crashes don't look that way. That's the movie that Beyonce is asking about. So he's not talking about like a movie in the summer. Because remember, this video was shot sometime, or this particular MTV Awards was in 2000, I think on September 7th. And then I think Aaliyah died on August 25th, all right, of 2001. So I'm going to play that step by step, then break down the conversation so you guys can actually hear it again, all right? So let me do that.
What's up? What's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing, girl?
It's so good to see you again.
You too. She's just looking fabulous. What are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing Gucci shoes, Gucci. Got a little Indian jewelry working.
Oh, that is hot. All right.
You.
So the first question right there is, what are you wearing? Aaliyah answers she's wearing Gucci shoes, a Gucci dress, or whatever. Why? Because they're making the people who actually watch this, who have set up this thing and know the inside joke which is on the public, that Aaliyah is about to be transitioned. So they're making you take notice of the dress, that it's a black dress. For the guys who know what they're looking at, that it's a black dress, a symbol of death and mourning. And the next question that she's asking is, you've been working so hard on these movies. So let's keep going so guys can actually hear.
Now you've been working it with these movies. Were you nervous?
Very nervous, but I'm real happy. It's something I've wanted for a long time, so to finally make that transition, it's great.
You're doing it.
So Beyonce right there asks her, you've been working these movies, right? And Aaliyah answers that it's something that she's been looking forward to for a very long time, which means that she's been programmed. She had been programmed right from the time in this particular script that she would pass on the torch at one point in time, maybe because they found out that she wasn't good enough. She wasn't convincing enough as a transgender. So the torch would need to be passed on to Beyonce, who was wearing a golden dress, which is symbol of life. All right. I want you guys to remember the conversation here. So she's going to be saying that, she's looking forward to the transition. What transition is he talking about? You guys would probably think the answer is because she's talking about she's going to be transitioning from music to movies. No, she's talking about the transition of showing us, the public, that she died in a plane crash. That's what it's saying. Because the guys who wrote out the script understand that. All right, it is the laugh and the joke is on the public. All right, so let's go on and listen to this fine conversation.
Another movie this summer, right?
Hopefully things work out. Everything will be rolling.
That's great. What are you looking forward to seeing?
So Beyonce asked her about the next movie that she's going to be acting in the summer. And people are going to think it's maybe the movie that she came out with before she died or whatever the case. But that's not what she's talking about. She's talking about the movie of she acting out her plane crash, that she went to Bahamas and shot a video. And after the video, they went on a boat to get on the plane and she passed out. That's the movie that they're talking about. All right, so I want you guys to listen to how all this symbolic code is being presented to you without you knowing. And then the next question Beyonce is going to ask him, who are you looking forward to perform tonight? And Aaliyah is going to say D'Angelo. Now, it's not a coincidence that D'Angelo performed on that night, because the name D'Angelo means angel, and angels fly and pass over. So that's what this whole conversation was about. this short conversation. It was a passing on and a touch from one transgender to the other, from one who was not so convincing to the one who's going to be so convincing based on the color code of symbology in their dresses, black and a golden dress, just like I showed you on the Vatican code of colors. So I'm going to finish the video up, and then you guys can go listen. You can go just maybe type it on your search engine, you know, Aaliyah and Beyonce at the MTV Music Awards, and this video is going to come up and you guys can listen to it over and over and over again. Okay, so let me just finish this up real quick.
Tonight,
yes.
I want to see D'Angelo perform.
Girl, I'm with you because you know he fine.
He's fun. He's hot.
All right, back to you, Cisco.
So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, so you guys can actually see how, you know, this guy's talking codes. The Vatican sets up his whole thing just to make it have some sort of spiritual elements and symbology to them, so that they can all think that, you know, they're in the good graces of whosoever the worshippers God, who is actually Lucifer, all right, and Satan. So that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you learned something, and I, like as usual, I always advise, all right, that you pay attention and listen. Don't let these guys talk over you. All right, if you learned something, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned, and I'll leave you with these words: look with your eyes but see with your brain. Thanks, and bye bye.